not trying to escape, are you?
Glory is mine.
Nice try.
Glory is mine.
Almost got me that time.
Try again.
Nice try.
Nice try.
Better luck next time.
Almost got me that time.
Almost got me that time.
Try again.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
So it wasn't a dream after all. I don't even remember them strapping me down. I don't even remember them strapping me down. Boring. Junk. An animal's sty. Freight or food?
Did you expect a needle? Did you expect a needle? Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin.
Fresh meat. Nice. Plump. Banded like a chicken's leg, too. That may be so, but look at the flies. Ban wisdom. Flies know when a creature will die, and it's around your...
With two shakes of her stumpy tail, the sheep turns away from you to peruse her hay-filled manger. Did you expect a needle? Did you expect a needle?
That click. This floor plate triggered something.
Get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed, loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here. Set me free, and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think. A gentlewoman among jesters, you are. Give that lever a pull.
Not the most elegant solution, was it? And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the snoring Magister mumbles himself awake. One bloodshot eye open.
Is my shift over? Wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy scrounger? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. Clever story. I almost... I should have known there'd be trouble.
So much for a peaceful stroll.
The prisoner's buoyant voice darkens as his eyes rest on yours. Ah, freedom. Tastes better. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. And I did give my word I'd set you free, lass. Say your prayers while you've breath to speak them.
What would he have to gain by killing me? Strange forces are at work.
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
He's smelling sorts of strong stuff.
Empty.
No known associates. In fact, he seems quite averse to spending time with But who? Yes, this is a rare kind of magic. I'll need to write to headquarters right away. Everything's spick and span. Nothing left to do, really. Did the murderer take him into this
There
room?
you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
She frowns and peers at you closely, resting the back of one hand on your forehead and taking your pulse with the other.
No indications of a struggle.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy. Is he? Oh, well. Some problems simply sort themselves, don't they? Why? Because we're at sea, of course, and have been for several...
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to sauce. For good. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those sauce spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into you.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will. There you have it. See? The collar's function. You too. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole... You've been collared and you've been told why. There really is no need for you to linger.
Good gods! There's been a murder here.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass.
No known associates.
In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others.
What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me.
Why won't you sing?
I'm not suited for this. It's sea cow, not sea sheep. Haven't got any shears, have you? People these days...
One of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry...
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
Can we just skip to the part?
Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
You think me mad?
Mad?
Don't worry, honey. It is...
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last.
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together. Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off.
The woman keeps rolling her dice.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on... He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, Ghetto. You hear that?
His eyes snap open. He looks at you.
Murder? Ah, that's what they were going on and on about. I wouldn't know anything about it. I kill a man. He knows who done it. His daddy knows who done it. And the mate...
His eyes flutter shut, and he assumes his position of...
Whether they catch me is another matter. But I ain't one to hide my accomplishments. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
Never thought you'd end up...
That isn't anger, it's...
He cocks his ear to the other side, then...
Anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if I were you, mate. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose...
There! You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, Ghetto. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise. Pardon my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Yeah, no indeed, Ghetto. But that ain't my final destination.
Maybe that has the Magister's more concern than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Please, please! I forgot how to sing. I did.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, Ghetto.
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your
He continues.
Maybe that has the Magister's more concern than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben
Well,
Nest.
well.
What have we here?
The lizard looks you up and down. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
I've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here,
I'm inspecting your teeth, in case that wasn't... There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find... Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us.
Music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep...
Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic. A bag is as good as a shirt kind of stuff. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art... The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate. As per your own testimony, you can cook and groom, but you have the fashion still. Beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave. Of course you accept. Mine wasn't an offer, it was an order. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy. Now shoot!
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tube. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat.
I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mezd. Your kind always hung closest to our divine. I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A slight...
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago.
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword, and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You! What's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against...
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mezd. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us would kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter?
Murder most foul.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mezd. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves...
You one of them? A divine order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side...
You're a human, like me. That means we're friends already. Please, please, please.
Oh, there you are. Wife. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this loser woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer...
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into... As quickly as they came, the...
Good luck, Chief.
It was one of them. I know it.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that.
Fascinating.
What are you trying to hear
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before.
One of us would kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up? You think me mad?
Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Ask what you must. I've nothing to hide.
Seems to me you should be a little more afraid. There's a killer about, after all.
Till overboiling a bit of cabbage becomes a crime, I shall hold my head steady.
The elf's face freezes for just a second before he waves his hand dismissively.
Oh, it's just one of my idle curiosities. We mortals do like to consider these things, do we not? Now, please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
Just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams has just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far? I'm glad to hear it. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter?
Murder most foul, and I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
What? What happened? Must have been the turnips. Water? Wine, for goodness sake!
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness. You shake the lizard by the shoulders, but you're unable to wake him up. You shake the lizard by the shoulders, but you're unable to wake. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and...
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
It's no use. Your words do not seem to...
The dice roll darkly. They're...
The elf lies motionless, her eyes staring into a nothingness, like... Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground like an animal. His eyes flicker open, but he...
Lucien?
Ifan cries out. Then his eyes fall closed again. No matter how... The young woman lies in a heap on the floor. She's breathing normally, but... The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious.
Hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another... Hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way. Damn! That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards!
Thank the gods! By the fine grace, what was...
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer!
The Magister's companion doesn't blink, frozen in place at the sight of you.
Even if I knew how to rip that thing off, I wouldn't. Some crazy banshee comes screaming through, and now we got void bugs swarming up.
He whispers loudly to the other Magister.
Don't just cower there, Rix. Take out your blood.
Rix grabs his sword, which shakes in the rhythm of his trembling hand. The Magisters look to each other. Then...
Your lies end here. Get her!
The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls, the hairs on its back prickling as it lowers its...
Sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose one...
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Please, make it stop. Too much. Too much. Can't smell. Can't breathe.
The dog whines and continues pawing at its nose.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters. Great gods! Something's pounding on the hull!
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. It doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds your mind.
I need to get off this ship.
Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear? Had to open your big mouth.
Never.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a... The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding.
If you could walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a... Wait! Boy broken!
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
Let the games begin.
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
They who are about to triumph.
worse dead than alive. Let's head above decks for some air.
We make a pretty good team. I hear something. It's Magister Siwan.
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing wound. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth, soaked with some kind of strong-smelling tincture. Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow of blood. Siwan clutches your arm, her eyes locked with yours. Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder. Siwan struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan, then
It's ripping the ship apart! Shit! She's going...
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Those Voidwoken made short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? It seems someone, something, wanted me alive.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eye.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Why? I guess. Well, the people who put me here are human, And the people... Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at him.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside, anyway. They're gone now. The Magisters took them already. I guess now they're cured. And maybe they're waiting for me back at home. But you didn't die. I guess I am. But it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see.